Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to a mini episode of ModSauce, still on the Primus server of course. It's a mini episode because I've got a new computer to put together and I can't do what I need to do because we're having some TPS issues and I don't want to set up an ender quarry and exacerbate the problem. I was trying to make some of the pieces and I was looking at the Silk Touch upgrade and it requires a Silk Touch gold pick. Well, the one I got has efficiency 4 on it and that won't work. I tried it with the recipe and it didn't take it. So I tried to make the auto disenchanter and it would not let me craft it. I got all the pieces and it said denied. So this is just a little mini episode. There's been some interest in a Q&A session with me, so I think I'm going to do it in AMA format. Rage made a subreddit for the Primus server before I even joined. So I figure I'll do it there. I'll put the link in the description. There are some things I can't talk about, but I will be more than happy to answer whatever questions I can. And yeah, so whatever you wanted to know, feel free to pop in. The video will go online. Today's Tuesday. It'll go online Wednesday afternoon, and I'll be busy for dinner, but I'll be around after that, and then Thursday and Friday. So feel free to ask away, and like I said, I'll answer whatever I can. So I got schnitzed. I'm gonna call it that. Schnitzed. It's a technical term. I got some statues in front of my door. He did this to me yesterday, and I didn't want to move them before the episode because I wanted to show it. So I think I'm going to leave them there. I've made a workaround. I'll show you that in just a minute. Before that, I want to show you this thing that he's made. It's pretty sweet. I love it. There's a beacon down here now. It was on top. Rage moved it. But this is a pretty awesome thing. We're going to jump. We're not going to take any fall damage because I figured out that you can charge up these dark boots and... Whoa, hey. I didn't think my armor was working very well. I thought that dark steel was supposed to be pretty good. And then I got one-shotted by a baby zombie. So I looked at it and you can charge these things up. And it says fall damage negated when powered, diamond level protection when powered. So I hadn't charged these up, which is why I got one-shotted by the baby zombie. So here's the view of this thing from the bottom. I really like it. He said these things will open when there's something behind them to go to. It looks like he's already made something over here. It's just a little room with slimes. Looks like it looks like an upgraded solar generator. But I think this looks really nice. Especially this part. I love stuff like this. This hallway and this thing. So let's go over to my place. I took the day Sunday. I learned Botania. I got fairly far into it. If you guys want to see any specifics of this, let me know. Cat Dog is already doing it, and I think Blizz just posted a video about it also. So I'm not going to get too into it. Let me run in here and sleep, and then I'll show you what I've got going on here. I made a couple of travel anchors, which if you stand on one, you can see the ghost image of another, and then you just jump, and it puts you right there. I think they're kind of expensive, but diamonds, ender pearls are not a problem for us at the moment. Gold, iron, stuff like that is a problem, which is why I wanted to run the ender quarry. So that'll wait an episode or two, not that big of a deal. So Botania. I really like it. I wasn't sure about it at first. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do, but it takes a while to get into it. I've got some passive generation over here, the day blooms and the nightshades. Then I've got some of these endo flames, which will take a solid fuel source such as charcoal or whatever. Let me turn my magnet off. We'll throw it down there. You just drop it on the ground and they will consume that in a minute. See, there they go. Now they're all making particle effects on top, which shows you that they're working. I made a thermalily, and I filled up a lava drum, and I'm running it through the floodgate. This thing actually should be dropping the lava. It was earlier. Maybe it hasn't had a chance to realize that this thing actually consumes the lava. So maybe the floodgate, there it goes. Maybe it took it a second to realize. So I don't know what flower generates the most. The one that I think generates the most is this one, which drains my XP. It's the most visible one. And let me eat a couple more of these guys. The only bad thing is you have to stand here. You see how fast it fills up that mana spreader? It's really nice. The bad part, you have to stand here out in the open. I'm sure you could put this inside, or, I mean, if you're in a safe place, it's not that big of a deal. I've got the mana spreader here, or distributor rather, putting mana in the pools. This is the most I've ever had. I've got a tablet somewhere that's full as well. I've got some hydrangeas, which work with water. And occasionally, if you're watching this thing, you'll see one of the water blocks disappear. And then it fills back up because it's an endless pool. So I've got 4 of these and some day blooms over here. This is kind of just a test area for me to figure out how things work. I'm going to rearrange it all. And over here, if you've watched any of CatDog's videos, he made a jaded amaranthus, and this flower will generate other flowers around it. All these flowers were generated by this one. And you go through these pretty quickly. You don't even realize how many of these things you need. So CatDog has a few block breakers set up on one side so that whenever a flower is, like the whole area fills up, whenever a flower is grown, it just breaks the flower. And then he's got them all stored in barrels. So I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm not sure if this will work with a block on top of it. I don't know if they need to see the sky or not. So I'm going to put a glowstone block on top. And since it will generate flowers 1 level below and 1 level above, maybe more, I haven't tested that yet. What I want to do is actually put the block on top and then use water to clear it all out. And the block on top of this will prevent it from getting displaced when the water flows by, so that we can collect all the flowers, put the thing on like a 5-minute timer or something like that, and then profit. Yeah, I think that's going to be really good if I can work it out. I also had to make a small wheat farm. I say small, I mean it's an upgraded one. You use a lot of seeds as well, and I discovered that you can sag mill wheat and get 2 seeds from it if you need a bunch of seeds. I didn't set that up automatically or anything, but I've got one photovoltaic cell up here that powers this thing. It's more than enough power. This is missing durability because I put the wrong hoe in there. I meant to put this one, but they still don't take any damage, so it's not that big of a deal. I did try to automate some of this. This factory manager thing, it actually sees all of these inventories. It sees the item dropper. It sees both of the apothecaries. The problem with the apothecaries is you don't actually place items in it. You drop it on top, which is why I made the dropper, because I have a horrible time trying to drop things on these little things. So the dropper will drop items straight down every time. There's no variation. They don't go to the side of the block like a vanilla one does. So what I rigged up, I made a rule to send certain petals from this chest to the dropper. What I ended up doing, since I know what needs to go, is I'll just open the chest up and then like control click one at a time just to get them in there, and then my seed. And I was unsuccessful in my attempts to autofill this with fluid. You have to fill it up with water every time. Some things you just can't automate. It's just one of those things. What are you going to do? So it is semi-automated. It's not fully automated. I may revisit automating this in the future, but I really just needed to make a ton of day blooms, and I automated it enough that it wasn't as much of a pain as it usually is. So that's all I've got for you right now. I will put the AMA link down in the description, and hopefully there's a good turnout. I mean, if there's only 2 people, that's fine, but I would like it if there were many more than that. So if you have any questions for me, you can leave them down below. Comments, suggestions, whatever. Any questions not pertaining to this episode or this series, though, let's save them for the AMA. So that'll do it, guys. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.